Hey everybody, welcome back to RPG Imaginings. You are going to notice, no doubt, that the audio is a bit different on this clip, and that is because I'm doing a screen recording of a PDF that I have in hand that I thought I would highlight a small section for all of you, a section of interest for longtime players of the game that is included in A Time to Harvest, the newest campaign that has been released for Call of Cthulhu. And this campaign takes place in the 1930s, mostly in the Vermont hills. But this is an interesting campaign, in my opinion, in that all of the investigators are slated to be graduate students at Miskatonic University. So there is a portion of this campaign that is largely focused on Arkham, and there is, I don't want to say for the first time, but certainly with this amount of detail, this is the first time in 7th edition in which Arkham and Miskatonic University is featured in detail for a particular campaign. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you a section of the campaign background portion of the PDF that includes Arkham and Miskatonic University. And I intend this to be spoiler free. I'm not going to promise you that there aren't individual sentences in portions of the text here that refer to other parts of the campaign that might be spoilers. So just be aware, if you're a player and you are intending to play A Time to Harvest, there may inadvertently be minor spoilers in the text that I'm going to display to you. And so this is a sponsored video because I got this PDF from Chaosium when it released. I'm also working off of version 1.2, which is a later release of the PDF. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, this is a section of the PDF that many people have been interested in because this is one of the first times in which Arkham and specifically Miskatonic University have been featured in an official 7th edition product. And so this is a short section. I think it's only about 10 pages or so long, but it's a really information-rich and what I would call classical display of a lot of stuff that longtime players of the game and readers of H.P. Lovecraft would know about Miskatonic University. And, you know, it's kind of nice to see it canonized. It isn't like that there aren't plenty of other sources. The Miskatonic University sourcebook for Call of Cthulhu 6th edition, I think, would be an example of many players of the game have a copy of that excellent substitute. So it begins with a little bit of a tour of Arkham, so about Arkham, and we have the nice Miskatonic University crest in great detail here. This is beautiful artwork of that crest, and so I appreciate that. And then we have a map of Arkham that details the different neighborhoods of Arkham. Now you can see that I'm not displaying a full page at any given time. You know, this is a beautiful map. My big my big comment on this map would be that at least viewing it on a computer screen as a PDF, the contrast between the different colors of the neighborhoods is not very extreme. Many of these colors, to my eyes, are blending together, and so I don't know if it was the intention of the final updated print file to have more contrast on this image, but you know, there you go. It's definitely a well detailed map in terms of the locations of buildings and blocks and everything like that. But maybe a little bit more contrast for the neighborhoods would serve us better. Section on law and order in Arkham. What are the rules around prohibition and just discharging firearms? A little note on student life, because now we are in the Miskatonic University section. And here we go onto main campus. Now this section really only gives you enough information about the particular areas that are relevant to the campaign A Time to Harvest. And that makes total sense to me because I'm fairly certain that Chaosium intends to put out an Arkham or Miskatonic University or combined together style guide sometime in the near future. That's just my guess. I don't have any inside knowledge of that, although I seem to remember Mike Mason, the creative director for Call of Cthulhu, mentioning that that was one of his priorities. And so if anything, this is kind of a preview of what that supplement might be like if we get one in the near future. Beautiful campus map of Miskatonic University. It numbers many of the buildings for the entire area, although it is only these buildings that are in the centralized quad area right here between West Church Street and West College Street that are given any mentions in the text. All these other buildings, though, are indexed down here in this image. So it gives you details on Science Hall, George Loxley Hall, the Charles Tyner Science Index, Orne Library, and we really need to focus, I think, on Orne Library here because Orne Library has much more information than any of the other locations highlighted in this particular treatment. So, beautiful map of Science Hall, including references to many of the significant rooms. I don't think that it details, well, yeah, this may detail every room. Let's just double check. Yeah, it details many of the rooms, not all, okay, that are perhaps relevant to the campaign, I'm wondering, okay. And here we have more directories. Oh, this is now Orne Library, okay. So we have the first floor and the basement highlighted here, and let's see. Love the branding here. And then we have the second floor and the third floor. And the third floor, the very top of the library here, room 305, behind a closed door, is the restricted collection. And then here's the rare book collection, 304. Okay, different subject headings that you can look up. And there's a campaign spoiler at the bottom of page 62, so don't look at that if you're not interested in it. Some more details on the restricted collection and the timing of, when things were locked down and the rationale as to why they were locked down. And so there's also some interesting information about Dr. Armitage here and what his access is. And I find this particularly interesting because I've been prepping for the second session of Children of Fear campaign in my current group, and our last session was the first time members of our campaign had an actual conversation with Dr. Armitage, and that was our 48th session. So it took us 48 sessions in before my players actually had an actual conversation with Dr. Armitage. And what they were doing is they were negotiating getting an advance on money from Dr. Armitage that he could send to San Francisco so that they could purchase a tome, and then that tome could be included in the library's collection. We have some information on the Quad and Copley Memorial Bell Tower, West Dormitory, Statue Lawn, East Dormitory, the Robert Carter Memorial Hall, and the Dorothy Upman Hall. And then the next page, Derby Hall and the President's House. And we have some fun tentacular art coming out of a window here. And then this next page is highlighting the next chapter of the campaign so that I won't reveal that to all of you. But many of you are interested in what sort of information would be included about Miskatonic University and Arkham in this section. And so there you go. That's what is included in A Time to Harvest for that. It's a short section, but it's really an information-rich section. And if you're interested in getting not only a great campaign, I will be excited to continue to read through A Time of Harvest and see what sort of Miskatonic Valley style campaigning in 7th edition, now that we finally have that as an official product within 7th edition. It's a great look to the future of what to expect with Miskatonic Valley style supplements perhaps for 7th edition, and I thought some of you would be interested to see that. And so thanks so much for watching, everybody. Consider subscribing. I'm getting close to the big milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and so if you'd help me to get there, I'd really appreciate it, but that's your call. And I will keep having awesome Chaosium products featured for you here on the channel. Oh, one last thing that I want to mention. Coming up this Sunday, which I believe is Sunday, October 17th, whatever this upcoming Sunday is. Heck, look, we got a calendar here. Let's just look. Yeah, so Sunday, October 17th, coming up, I will be on a panel at 11 a.m. Eastern for dramatic structure in story writing for Miskatonic Repository Con. So if you would like to hear me and really some amazing people who are affiliated with Cthulian or cosmic horror role playing. Lynn Hardy is on the panel, who wrote The Children of Fear. Mike Mason, the creative director for Call of Cthulhu, will be on the panel, and Sean Brani, who, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, I'm not sure if it's Brani or Brainy or what it would be, who is a member, a key luminary, I should say, of the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, and was the director of The Whisper in Darkness, which is, of course, a period movie that does a spectacular job of going through that H.P. Lovecraft story. All those people and me will be on that panel, and so yes, I feel a little outclassed, but I appreciate that Bridget Jeffries had invited a newer writer onto that panel. And so thanks, Bridget, for advocating for newer members of the hobby to be involved in sharing the love and the excitement with everybody. And so, yeah, check that out if you're interested too. Well, I'll let you go here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into the Miskatonic University and Arkham section of A Time to Harvest, and have a great day.